That's right, you read the title correctly. There is some major news regarding Season 2 of the Percy Jackson show. We are getting a brand new, never before seen character. This character did not appear in the books and is completely original to the show. And on top of that, we are going to get a lot more info about casting as well. So let's get into all of this new stuff. All of this new info was revealed through an article by Nexus Point News. So I will quickly go through the article and then give you my opinion on some of the details. So let's get into the article then.
Exclusive. Percy Jackson and the Olympians preps for Season 2 as casting begins. Percy Jackson and the Olympians Walt Disney Studios. As Season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians prepares for production later this year, we have exclusively learned that casting has begun on some fan favorite characters, as well as an original character. We've heard they're currently on the hunt for Percy Jackson's Walker Scobell, half-brother Tyson, and the daughter of Zeus, Lance Reddick, Thalia, and a new demigod by the name of Allison. They're currently looking for actors of all ethnicities, between the ages of 15 to 18, for the role of Tyson, who will be a series regular. The casting description for Tyson describes him as big and tall, but with a heart just as big as he is. He is biologically 8 years old, but looks like a fully developed human teenager due to the mist. His powers are invulnerability to fire, enhanced hearing, and ability to mimic voices. Like Tyson, actresses between 15 to 18% of all ethnicities are being looked at for Thalia. She's the daughter of Zeus, who gave her life to protect her friends 6 years prior to the series, but was saved by her father and turned into a tree. She has a tough and prickly personality and is described as being a punk or rebel. She will be a recurring guest star in Season 2, but with the potential for more in future seasons. Charlie Bushnell as Luke Castellan. Walt Disney Studios. Deviating from the books, Season 2 will introduce Allison, who is described as being a rogue demigod and a member of Luke Castellan's Charlie Bushnell army. She lives in the human world now, but attended Camp Half-Blood in her younger years. She will be a recurring guest star. Actresses between 18 to 22 of all ethnicities are being looked at for the role. Tyson is introduced in the second book that the upcoming season will adapt, The Sea of Monsters. He plays a crucial role in the novel, joining Percy Jackson and Annabeth Chase, Leah Sava-Jeffries, on their quest to save Grover, Arian Samadri, and find the Golden Fleece. Fans of the books know the character's significance, as he is revealed to be a son of Poseidon, Toby Stevens, and Percy's half-brother. Tyson's character is also essential to Annabeth's traumatic past with his kind. This dynamic brings themes of overcoming prejudice, personal growth, and the importance of looking beyond superficial differences. This can set up a nuanced and challenging arc for Jeffrey's Annabeth to tackle. Thalia Grace, daughter of Zeus, was mentioned and seen, yes, that oak tree protecting camp in the first season by various characters. In the books, before arriving at Camp Half-Blood, Thalia, Luke, and Annabeth formed a tight-knit group, struggling for survival in the mortal world. Tragically, when they finally reached the camp, Thalia sacrificed herself and was turned into a tree by Zeus, her bravery ensuring the camp's protection. If they follow the novels closely in Season 2, however, her tree will be poisoned, setting off a quest led by breakout character Clarice LaRue, Dior Gujan. By the end of the book, Thalia is brought back to human form and becomes a crucial figure in the prophecy as a forbidden child of the big three gods of Olympus. Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 1 is now streaming on Disney+.
Okay, so based on the article, it seems like they're still quite early in the casting process. So I think this means that filming might actually be a bit further away than we originally thought. If you saw my last video discussing the show, there was a recent rumor about the filming date that said that they would be filming from August 1st. But if they're still searching for cast at this point, I think filming might start in September or even October at this point. But either way, both of these articles are published by more niche sources and not corroborated by major news sources, so only time will tell which one is actually true. Even more than the filming date, I find the introduction of this new demigod much more interesting. This demigod named Allison is supposedly a rogue demigod and a member of Luke's army. She lives in the human world now but attended Camp Half-Blood in her younger years. And apparently she's also a reoccurring guest star, so I think that means she will have a much more prominent role. They're casting for ages between 18 to 22. I think this means that this demigod is most likely an adult who attended Camp Half-Blood as a child, but once she was 18, she left to go live on her own. And then when Luke started his army, she thought it was a good idea to join. I think this could be pretty interesting. A nice way to explore how demigods that are too old to be at Camp Half-Blood live and how they feel about being forced to leave and venture out on their own even if they're not ready yet. as in Camp Half-Blood, there are no adult demigods. I think this choice of adding a new demigod further shows how the series wants to deviate from only seeing things from Percy's POV. I do find this decision kind of baffling though, as they continuously say that they're only cutting stuff from the book or shortening plot lines because of screen time limitations. But they always seem to have enough time to add brand new foreign stuff to the books. I mean, which one is it? Are they being forced to cut stuff because of too little time, or do they have so much time that they can add brand new demigods and brand new storylines? I mean, you can't have it both ways. I mean, I would be much more receptive to new characters and plot lines if the established ones had received their adequate development and attention. However, given that so much content was left out of season 1 due to time constraints, I don't see how they can find the time to introduce a new character with a detailed backstory without severely underdeveloping this new character. I mean, there are still so many demigods who need way more development. Like Beckendorf still needs a huge amount of development, Chris Rodriguez still needs more development, Selena needs to be introduced and developed, and there's still a whole bunch of other counselors who have yet to make a single appearance. Not to mention, there's still a lot of stuff from season 1 that still needs to be explored, like Annabeth's relationship with Chiron, all the flashbacks and trauma from Annabeth's youth, Talia and Luke's relationship, Grover's adventures, Clarice's development. They still haven't explained why the Greek gods are in the West, or the entire Flame of the West concept. Also, there hasn't been a detailed explanation of how monsters regenerate in Tartarus, and there's still so much more. I feel like a new character is gonna take away from the other characters' development that needs to happen for later storylines to have a significant amount of impact for the audience. It feels like the show was low-key made for people that have already read the books, because they skip over so much of this development that they already expect the viewer to know. I think this is such a strange decision, because as a show that adapts a book, you want new viewers that have never read the books to be introduced to the property. So if you're not explaining all of these little details, how are you gonna hook them in? Like, imagine if Jurassic Park, they never explained how the dinosaurs came back to life or how they ended up in the park. That would be ridiculous. But this show completely skips over how the Greek gods are in the West and just expects the audience to know. And this is what I mean about the show not having its priorities straight. They're focusing way too much on new stuff that the book readers have never seen before, when they instead should be focusing on trying to fit as much of the core book as possible. It kind of feels like the author's goal is less to bring this book to life and more to use the show as sort of a rewrite to make the changes he wished he had made when he first wrote it. But at the end of the day, season 2 hasn't come out yet, and we don't know how this character is going to play out. Maybe they'll have enough time to fit in everything. I likely doubt this, considering they have like 40-minute episodes and 10 minutes of that is just credits and recap, but maybe they're gonna have 1-hour episodes this time, who knows. Either way, what do you guys think about this new news and this new demigod? Do you think it's a good choice? And are you excited to see where they take it? Let me know down below.